Hi, this is David Massover on behalf of Dharmic Selling, and welcome to Dharmic Selling and the Sales Process. This is part of the Dharmic Selling Introductory Series. For those of you not familiar with Dharmic Selling, let's start by explaining what exactly is Dharmic Selling. Now, Dharma is a Hindu and a Buddhist principle, but Dharmic Selling is not about religion. Dharma is a concept that lends itself to helping us to look at selling in a new way that incorporates effectiveness but also integrity, honesty but also a clear view. Some of these principles related to Buddhism and some of these Dharmic concepts include things like knowing yourself deeply and clearly, or living with wisdom and compassion, or behaving ethically but with strength. And when we apply these same concepts to sales as a subset of life, we find that our sales activities can not only be more personally enriching, but more effective and more beneficial for our customers and just more healthy all the way around. But what is the connection between the topics that we're talking about today? What's the connection between a dharmic path, such as the Noble Eightfold Path of the Buddha, and a sales process? We have another video on the Noble Eightfold Path itself and how the pieces of the Noble Eightfold Path relate to sales. And so you can look at that at our website under online trainings in the introductory series. But today we want to talk about how the sales process itself is dharmic. One of the ways we can look at that is by realizing that both the Eightfold Path of the Buddha and the sales process are a sequence of steps that lead us out of suffering. In the case of Buddhism, it's towards some form of enlightenment. In the case of sales, it's about following a path to a destination in a way that's efficient and effective. So, if we don't follow the steps, then we're less likely to have success. And if we don't have success, that's a form of suffering. But that's not the only form of suffering. Sometimes while we are going through a sales interaction, if we don't know where it is that we're supposed to go next, this is also a form of suffering. So by going through the sales process in a dharmic fashion, not only are we more successful in selling, but we're also adhering to these dharmic principles. Some of the dharmic principles that are going to help us are things like seeing reality clearly, knowing what the steps are in the process, and knowing how we're supposed to get from one step to the other, what we have to do to get from one step to the other, what we have to accomplish in one step before we're ready to get to the next, and most importantly, how all of the steps work together. Because if we understand the entire sales process clearly, we're more likely to get through the process in the most efficient, most effective way. Another dharmic principle that's going to help us is in understanding ethics and integrity. If we go through our sales process seeing clearly and with ethics and integrity, then it's going to be a better experience for us. We're going to feel better about our role in the sales process. And if we have clear appreciation of the sales process and clear understanding and operate with ethics and integrity, then we get to this third dharmic principle, which is right actions. If we have integrity, if we have ethics, if we have clear seeing, we are likely to be moved to the right thing. We'll be inspired to do the correct thing. Not just morally correct, which is important, but correct in terms of effectiveness, which is also important. The two work together, and together they can be very powerful. Let's look at each of these steps a little more deeply. So the first step is seeing reality more clearly. Well, following a well-conceived sales process gives us a roadmap. And following a roadmap lets us see beyond just what's right in front of us. And knowing that we are following a map lets us focus on the moment. There's kind of a funny interaction. You often think about Zen Buddhism in particular as being present, being here for what is happening now instead of thinking about what might be happening later. And the funny thing is, if you study your roadmap, then you don't have to worry so much about where I'm going next. You can really focus on where I am now. You may realize this when you're driving somewhere that's unfamiliar. If you keep looking for the next turn, you're not really appreciating where you are at this moment. However, if you know that the next turn is 3 miles up and it's got a red barn just before you have to turn off to the right, then you don't really have to worry about where you're going. You just enjoy where you are. And it's the same with the sales process. When we see the sales process clearly, we know that we're following a map, we can focus on the moment, and we can find our place in the process more easily because of that broader view of the map. Operating with ethics and integrity in a similar way frees our minds. When we operate from a place with a lack of integrity or dishonesty or unethical behavior, we have an internal cognitive dissonance. We understand that we're doing something that's not right and not good. And because of that, we have this kind of mental static and friction. Even if you don't believe that you do, I can't go into the psychology in a video this short, but you have this nagging in the back of your brain that what you are saying is not consistent with what you know is true. So you increase friction within your expression of your sales work when you operate without ethics and integrity. But when you operate with ethics and integrity, what you say is consistent with what you know, and you're able to be more genuine, more trusting, more honest. And your customers and the people that you deal with are going to pick up on that. Consciously, not consciously, subliminally, implicitly. These things will be a part of the fabric of your relationship. And so your relationships will be more effective because they're genuine. And then, of course, there's just the obvious. It's just the right thing to do. But unfortunately, for some people, that's not enough. They want to be effective and they don't care if they do the right thing. But you know what? Not doing the right thing is actually, in many cases, going to slow you down in the long run more than it's going to help you. Doing the right things is the natural extension of seeing things clearly and operating with ethics and integrity. The sales process maps out the steps of what the right things are. So doing the right things on the one hand means simply tactically doing the right things step by step in the right sequence in the right way. And Dharmic selling and the Dharmic sales process addresses that. But the Dharmic principles also lead us to do them in the right way from the moral, ethical perspective. So doing the right thing the right way is the essence of Dharmic selling, and that's what leads us to success. This has been a very brief overview of the connection between Dharmic principles and the sales process. If you'd like to learn more about this topic or the other topics that we address in the Dharmic selling program, please come visit our website. There you'll find free sales trainings so you can learn more about us without paying anything. You can just click on a few videos or read a few ebooks and learn more about us. If you find that you like our approach and would like to go very deeply into things like the sales process and how to develop your own sales process at a very detailed, hands-on level, then you can try our premium sales trainings. You will need to pay for those, but they go very deeply. They're very hands-on. They help you to create your own sales process, and there are deliverables within the premium sales trainings to help you do that. Or if you're a manager, you can get our management program and learn how to use the Dharmic sales process to help you manage more effectively and with more honesty and integrity. We also have suggested reading. This is part of the free content on the site. Free ebooks, even sales haiku, where we write poetry about sales and allow our users to offer their own sales haiku as a part of that program. If you prefer social media, please visit our group on LinkedIn, look at our videos on the YouTube channel, or you can follow us on Twitter or Facebook, or again, come to the website to learn more. We hope that this has been informative, and if you are interested in learning more, we hope to see you at one of these many places. Thank you very much for your attention.